Hello everyone. This is one of the most solid chess opening and ever played. It's played too much, too frequent. It's called the Queen's Gambit. This is actually the Queen's Gambit, d4, d5, c4, and this is the Queen's Gambit declined that we will start talking about today. I will explain you and show you strategies, plans based on long castling, short castling, queenside play, central play, kingside play. It's gonna be very useful, very essential, very important. You cannot play actually the Queen's Gambit, either white or black, without knowing these strategies. First of all, why e6? One of the main reasons for d4, or one of the most aim or goals of playing d4 is to play e4. Very simple. So to stop that, there's d5, and this is called the Queen's Gambit. Based on, I do believe the naming, based on that, e4, e5, this is actually the King's Gambit. And Gambit usually means you sacrifice a pawn in the opening in order to gain something. Maybe lead in development, weakening your opponent king, etc., etc. So when we go d4, d5, c4, we are saying or hoping that our opponent will take, so we have access to the e4 square. That's why, though this is an interesting opening, and I recommend you to watch my video about the Queen's Gambit accepted. You can find it somewhere in the channel. I'll try to put the link somewhere here or there. But that's why e6 came to the game. e6, say what black is saying, if you take, I take, but I will keep my control over the e4 square. That's interesting. Now, one of the main strategies that you need to know about this opening is this light squares bishop, and it's called, or I call it, light squares bishop strategy. By the way, in the description, I'll leave you a link to this study on lichess to check everything that we are discussing here. Light squares strategy. Why do I call it like that? After d4, d5, c4, e6, not cd5, I'll recommend knight c3 first, and after knight f6, cd5. And now after ed5, I'll go bishop g5. And now, if black managed to improve this bishop, he will be fine. That's why in this opening, many players, probably beginners, will go bishop f5. And this is actually a big mistake. Why? Because of queen b3. And after queen b3, now b7 pawn is under fire. Also d5 pawn, because I'm attacking twice. You're protecting twice, but this knight is under the pin. And you cannot deal with these two problems. That's why one of the main moves, and actually our main move for black here, is to play c6. Now, white has only two moves, only two good moves. See, knight f3 is not a good move. Rook c1 is not a good move. Either e3, which seems normal, or, because bishop f5 now is a threat, queen c2. Why queen c2 to stop bishop f5? Because if you go knight f3, it's simply bishop f5, and black is completely fine. Now, if queen b3, first of all, this is protected. Second of all, there's queen b6. And black is completely fine. Okay, that's interesting, but I got you why queen c2, which is the recommended move. But what about e3? e3, white is saying, okay, my opponent, you can go bishop f5, but then you will face a very bad ending after queen f3. I'm attacking the bishop has to go back, and after bishop takes, queen takes, g takes, you have to accept this ending, which is probably suffering for black. Black has to be very accurate not to lose this ending. This is actually what's so-called the light squares strategy, or the light squared bishop strategy. So now, let's dig deeper. We will start talking about queenside castling strategy. I'll base my strategies on two main stuff: queenside castling, kingside castling, or maybe the other way around. Anyhow, d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, cd5. Why do I recommend cd5? Because in many openings, dc is there. So I limit my opponent's ideas. If knight d5, I'll have the center. Thank you. So ed5, and now I go bishop g5. Again, c6, what's the threat? Yes, bishop f5. So queen c2. And after queen c2, bishop e7, e3. I wanted to improve the rest of the pieces. Castling short, bishop d3. Now there's a threat. What's the threat? Threat is bishop takes f6, followed by bishop takes h7. That's why probably either h6 or knight bd7 to be played. And now two main moves for white. Knight ge2 or knight f3. Because we are talking about the king side or the queen side strategy, castling, I'll go knight ge2 now. And after knight ge2, black's normal action is to go rook e8, knight f8, knight g6 or knight e6 or bishop e6 to complete the development. This is actually the norm, the way that black usually play. So after rook e8, we go on castling. You go back with the knight, knight f8, and now we start our action on the king side. f3 probably, g4, h4, etc, etc, etc. One game. I will explain an idea, a strategy, then show you a game quickly, and then explain another strategy, show you a game quickly, explain another strategy, show you another game quickly. Let's see a very recent game. It's not very recent, but it's kind of maybe 2 years ago. 𝒖𝒐𝒆𝒏'𝒔 played white against Rajab of black, d4, knight f6. Another move order, but it's kind of the same. e3, knight bd7. Bishop d3, c6, knight ge2, castling, queen c2, and after rook e8 now, started with f3. And after f3, knight f8. Probably f3 is maybe to make sure that c5 won't be coming. But after f3, okay, it's fine. Knight f8, and now long castling. And my idea to show you this is to have some knowledge how to continue your attack. cb5, here what's so-called the opposite castling strategy. I am castling queen side, you're castling king side. The faster, the winner. So you can waste no time. g4. Rajabov waste no time. Queen a5, attacking, threatening b4 and taking the pawn. I don't care about pawns. h4. b4 wanted to take the pawn. No, I am sorry. Knight a4. c5, opening things up. It's completely fine. Knight c5. You take on a2. And now this is annoying. Okay, fine. King d2. Watch out your queen, bro. Queen a5 to watch out his queen. Queen a5. Oh, rook a1, sorry, attacking. Queen b6, and now rook hc1. 𝒖𝒐𝒆𝒏'𝒔, shift stuff on the queen side. h6, bishop f4, knight e6, take, and now bishop c7. But still, I do have some potential attacking on the king side. b3, bishop takes b6, and after b takes c2, bishop takes a7, and white is completely fine. Or completely winning, not only completely fine. And after bishop a7, he's almost +3. Bishop b4 check, taking the pawn. 2 pawns up. Actually, this is extra and this is extra. Bishop c5 was not the best move, probably simply king d1. But after bishop c5, take, knight d7, bishop f5. It's still 1 pawn up, and 𝒖𝒐𝒆𝒏'𝒔 went on to win this ending. Actually, after taking, improving, f6 takes, knight d7. Probably this is a rabbit or maybe a blitz game. I'm not sure. But it actually shows the strategy, and now you cannot stop these two very strong passers. You don't have even bishop to d4. So this is the first strategy that I wanted to show you. The second one is about short castling strategy. Again, d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, cd5, ed5, bishop g5, bishop e7, e3, c6. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, because in the next videos, we will take Queen's Gambit from different angle. Probably Slav defense, maybe King's Indian attack, maybe Grunfeld defense, etc. Write me in the comments what do you want to see next. After c6, bishop f5 is a threat? No. Queen c2. Castling bishop d3, knight bd7. I told you about knight ge2. And there is another move, which is knight f3. And this is called the minority attack. It's an action on the queen side, but it's castling king side. After rook e8, I castle, and now knight f8. Now, the minority attack is based on this move, b4. The idea behind it, imagine that you cannot take. Imagine that you cannot take. The idea behind it is to go b5. Say, for example, king h8. b5. And now after b5, if you take, then you split your pawn structure. You have 1 island, 2 island, 3 islands. More islands you have, weaker your position is. Okay, if you don't take it, say for example whatever, like rook b8, whatever, I'm just playing moves. Now when I take, you take, again, island, 2 islands, 3 islands. c6 weakness, c5 weak square, knight a4, knight c5, etc, etc. So, after castling knight f8, I would like to go b4. Now you have 2 ideas. Either you go rook b1 preparing for that, Or you go with this interesting plan that Rapport apply here, which is bishop takes f6. I'll give you the bishop pair, it's fine, but I will go with my strategy, distracting the bishop from the protection of the b4 square and go b4 right away. Let's see Rapport's game. After b4, again from the beginning, d4, d5, c4, e6. Actually, Rapport playing against almost 2600. c d5, e d5, bishop g5, e3, bishop d3, knight f3, queen c2, rook e8, castling, knight f8. Right away, bishop takes. And after bishop takes, go b4. I have no time to waste. I wanted to go b5. Now bishop g4. Shall I go b5 or move my knight first? Because he's threatening to take and double my pawns and weaken my king side? No, I'm not interested. Knight d2. Rook c8. His idea is that if I go b5, maybe c5, and then opening stuff on my queen, I'm not in a hurry. a4. Preparing, yeah? Bishop e7 attacking, rook fb1 just protecting. Bishop d6 and now bishop f5. I want you to exchange and I will exchange and then I will go b5 away of the rook. One very important idea to note here. Normally with the minority attack, endings will prefer white, will prefer the queen or the minority attacker. Why? Because the main goal of minority attack is to destroy or weaken the pawn structure. And usually a weak pawn structure in the end game is dead. I mean, it's very tough to play with a weak pawn structure in the ending. In the opening, it's fine. It can be like counter-attack, active pieces, etc. But in endings, you're completely lost. So after bishop f5, queen h4, hoping for some active play, g3. Bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, back with the queen, and now it's time, b5. You cannot take, you cannot push, now d5 pawn is under fire. Knight e6, knight f3, improving the knight. g6 away, queen d3, I'm fine. Knight g5 again, exchanges will be in my favor. In the minority attack favor, or attacker favor. So take. And now simply king g2, away of any sacrifices. h5, h4, not interested. Queen g4, c, queen d1. Very nice play by Rapport. Away of actions, rook b8. Now queen f3. Yes, I wanted to exchange, but I don't want to improve your pawn structure. If you wanted to take, improve my king. a5, and now this knight actually is doing nothing. I need to improve it. The best square for the knight in the minority attack is d3. So how to get there? Knight e2, knight c1, and knight d3. See? Controlling the square, protecting the square, controlling the square. Very strong knight. Takes, queen a7. Rook c1 attacking the pawn, attacking the knight. Knight c5 simply. Okay, you can exchange, but now, again, weak pawns, weaker pawn structure. Rook b1, rook c1, rook b4 attacking, now queen f4, going for the king. Queen b7, queen e5 check, king h7, rook c5 attacking the pawn, taking it, but now very strong move, queen e8. Taking rook and checkmate. So queen takes is good, but computer says rook takes is even better. So queen takes, take. And after rook d5, this pawn will be, taken. And instead of taking here and then rook a7 and a5, a4, a3, etc., and this rook will be passive. Very interesting moves, rook a6. And this pawn is taken. And slowly but surely, Rapport improves the position. Improve. Wait. Attack the pawn, wait, and then go with this very strong idea, g4. And g5 to be coming. Rook d5 attacking, you have to protect. g5, now I need the square for the king. Take, king e5 is coming, this will be taken, and these two connected passers will be winning. Check first, rook e6, and rook e5. Attacking here, if rook a5, then I do have e4. Black simply resigned the game. What a very strong strategy. Are we done? No, we are not done. So let's go with short castling strategy based on central play. d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, take, bishop g5. You go c6, I go queen c2. Bishop e7, e3, castling, and again bishop d3, threatening bishop takes and take, as we said. Knight bd7, knight f3 again, and after rook e8, castling, knight f8. We have talked about bishop takes f6, b4, right? But as I said, this is a very essential knowledge. You have to have it if you wanted to play the Queen's Gambit. Now, you have another idea, which is what? which is rook a to e1. We're going to see next with 𝒖𝒑𝒅𝒄 game. After knight f8, 𝒖𝒑𝒅𝒄 applied this strategy, rook a to e1. The point is to go knight e5 followed by f4. Now if bishop to e6, and this is actually what happened, you go knight e5, knight 6 to d7, trying to simplify, take, and now f4. You go f6 right, you push our knight back, but now the idea is to go f5, g4, h4, g5, king side attack, but we castle king side as well. This is, see, here the risk is higher than, for example, the minority attack, but it's very interesting, and it feels like only white who can do something. Knight b6, f5, attacking the bishop, bishop f7, g4, and h4. Very nice. And the queen now will go to the king side. After queen d6, simply queen g2, preparing g5. Rook a to e8. g5 is there, it's good. But 𝒖𝒑𝒅𝒄 said no. More action to the center, e4. d takes e4, knight takes e4, attacking the queen. And now after queen d8, now g5. Whoa, what a move. F g5, h g5, h g5, queen g5. And now f6 is there. Knight f6 is there. Everything is there. Knight h7, queen h4. Maybe ideas like rook e2, rook h2 to be coming. Knight d7, bad move. Now f6 is best, but see, very calm, strong move. King f2. Rook h1 is coming. The other rook to be coming. This king actually is just suffering, losing. Knight df6, knight takes f6, knight takes f6, and now rook h1. Threatening mate in 1. King f8, trying to escape. Check, bishop g8, and now rook h to g1. Attacking here, and after queen d6, now very smart, very strong move. Rook to e6. If rook takes, then checkmate. You cannot go with the queen takes. If you move your queen away, simply rook takes f6. Very nice. If you take back, either this and then queen g7 or queen takes g8, checkmate. Wow. What an idea. What a line. What a strategy. This is actually our second to last strategy. Our last strategy is about not knight f3. It's about knight ge2 combining with, we have seen this with long castling, right? But now we'll see this with short castling. And this is again central play. Why? Because we wanted to go f3, e4, e5, f4, f5. Let's see a game played by Kasparov. d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, take 6, bishop g5, c6. This is actually the real move order for the game. So you can see that we explain some ideas. Queen c2, see, to stop bishop f5. Bishop e7, e3, knight bd7, bishop d3, castling, and now knight ge2. Rook e8, and in this position, just short castling. Knight f8, and now f3. What's the idea? The idea is to go e4. Now knight g6. It's not actually that simple to go e4. You need to prepare. Though computer says it's fine, but now rook a d1. Why? Because when you go e4, d takes e4, the queen has some pressure against this pawn. So rook a to d1. And normally, here I wanted to explain something. Normally, when you have a central break, especially if you wanted to do that for an advantage, especially with white, try to prepare your pieces to the maximum. Why? Because after the central break is done, you don't have many time to improve your pieces. Because you already in the pool, you already swimming, see? You don't have time to look around, you have to swim, see? So after rook a to d1, h6 is played. Now, there's no bishop h4 because knight takes h4. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes g6. Why bishop takes g6? See, this is very, very accurate, very important. I wanted to go e4, but I cannot. Why? Because of bishop takes d4. So, I wanted to improve my rook to protect the pawn so I can apply my strategy. Bishop takes g6. F takes g6, and now simply now e4. What is the idea? e5 is actually a threat. Bishop takes is coming, or queen takes, sorry, is coming. g5 to protect the pawn, simply e5. Bishop e7, as we said, f4. Right away. Take, rook f8. And now the best move by Kasparov, knight g6. Rook takes f1, rook takes f1. It's +1 out of the opening. Bishop to e6, and now Kasparov again played the best move, knight e2, hoping for knight f4. Queen d7, h4, the best move again. Rook e8, knight g3, improving the knight. And after bishop f7, now Kasparov took the bishop, rook takes, and knight f5. Oh, what a strong knight. Rook e6, knight d6, bishop g6, queen c3, improving the queen. And now in this position, black cannot deal with this knight no longer. So rook takes d6, e takes d6, queen takes d6. It's almost +2 for white. Actually, I cannot say it's out of the opening, but it's out of the understanding of the opening. You understand the opening, how to continue after that. So you apply the strategy and you gain the advantage. Queen a3, hoping for the four endings. Queen b8, queen e7, best move. Queen g3. Now actually, I don't know, but Kasparov didn't want to analyze probably, or didn't want to calculate. Maybe it's a blitz game or something, I'm not sure. But after this check, king h7, by the way, his opponent 25-5-5, so almost 2500 plus. Now queen d8 is just winning. Okay, you need to calculate something, but I mean, after this check, king h2, and you have no more checks, and I'm threatening mate in 1. No check from here, no check from here, nothing, see? And only one check from here, this is actually protected, see? No more checks. But Kasparov played rook f3 first, I'm not sure why. Queen g4. Now queen f8, again, I'm not sure why. He should have played this stuff. Because, I mean, the game now went crazy, and believe it or not, Kasparov improve. But all of a sudden, it's kind of a fortress. Queen e5, king e3, go back, forward. Now it's winning, because he managed to give up a pawn in order to exchange queens. But that's not actually that easy, because if this pawn is taken, then it's a problem. So bishop f7, rook f5, and now king f8, rook e5, bishop e8. Improving, waiting and improving. How to win? He sacrificed its pawn in order to improve the king. The king is improved. Rook e3, and now check again, and b5. This is actually, maybe this is a good move. Not sure. Maybe now b5 has to be played. See, it's a very tough game. But white should be winning early on. So b3, king c3. Actually, g5 was not accurate. Bishop b4 should be played in order to go bishop d5 and stop this idea. But g5 allowed d5, and after g4, it's simply rook f4, h5, d6, and you cannot stop the pawn because this f5 square is completely under control. And Kasparov went on to win this game. I hope this knowledge is useful for you. I hope you find it interesting as well, and apply it in your games. If it happened, please share with us your experience with that, and comments. Your games probably will maybe make videos out of these, showing that we are doing something actually useful, applicable. And don't forget to subscribe and share, etc., because this is actually a series. This is how to play the Queen's Gambit based on Queen's Gambit declined. Probably we'll talk about other defense in the near future. For example, c6 in this position. For example, after d4, knight f6, c4, e6 structures, g6 structures, etc., etc. Please write me in the comments what you want to see next, and we'll see you very soon. Have a nice one.